Valemount, British Columbia. What a place. I mean, we spent a lot of time there recently, and every time I visit Valemount, I learn something new. I enjoy myself, and boy, is it nice to just get enamored with those mountains. Gorgeous. We're going to take you there again today for a stop at the Valemount Museum because it's one of the stops along the northern route. You're going to want to stop there this summer. We're going to show you why on CKPG Today. Welcome to another stop along the northern route here at the Valemount and Area Museum. And I'm so lucky to be joined by Katie today to talk a little bit more about this place. There's lots to take in, including, we'll start outside here, Katie. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here. There's a caboose, there's some ancient rail cars here, and the building.
Yep, this building is the original train station that was built in 1914.
That's over a century ago.
Yes, yeah, it was down on the tracks until the mid-'80s when the Historic Society decided they wanted a museum. And so CN sold it to them for $1, brought it up here 5 years later. We had a beautiful museum showcasing local items.
Wow, okay, so this museum, yeah, was a train station, and it was in service for quite a few years, right?
Yeah, from 1914 up until the mid-'80s.
Until the mid-'80s? Oh, wow, so a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And now this, so like the process to move it here must not have been that easy, but it is where it is now, and it includes a lot of treasures from different parts of the area too.
Yes. Farming, forestry, and fur was how the original pioneers made their living. So we have beautiful displays on all three of those items.
Cool. Okay, the other thing I wanted to touch on here, Katie, before we head inside, there's a lot of signs here. Swift Creek. So what's with the Swift Creekness? Was it originally not Valemount?
Correct. There was a private rail company that was coming through the Yellowhead Pass called Canadian Northern. Okay. And they originally placed the station at Swift Creek, which is about a kilometer north of this location. When CN took over, when they went bankrupt, CN lifted the station, slid it down the tracks, and that was when Valemount was born.
There you go. Okay, the history of the train station and Valemount. And while it wouldn't be complete, our visit, without an amazing model train setup. You got a cool one in there, hey?
Yes, we do. We have one of the best model train setup in the valley.
Okay, let's go check it out. So when you come inside the Valemount Museum, you get the welcome area, then you turn and you get the model train area you've always wanted to see. How long has this been here, this model train exhibit?
Unfortunately, I don't know the exact date, but it's been a work in progress over the years.
Okay.
So the museum opened in the mid-'90s, and it has been added to over the years continually.
Makes sense, Valemount, a train community, so only fitting to have a model train area.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're talking about the railway, of course, there's lots to talk about in terms of exhibits and little tools and items from the history over the railway. But what do you think should be the highlight when people come along the northern route here and are looking in some of these glass cases?
Well, there are very old memorabilia from the day-to-day lives of the employees that were working for CN and Canadian Northern. Right. And the Grand Trunk Railroad.
Yeah, three. So yeah. That's rare, I feel like, in a community, yes. Right?
Yeah, so a lot of artifacts from all three companies.
And now lots of these artifacts, of course, were gathered by the founding members of the museum, right? Correct,
yes. Those founding members were elderly ladies that were pioneers or descendants of the early pioneers in the Robson Valley.
That's super cool, super neat. And now, of course, yeah, you have to come and visit here to really get the full scope. I mean, you can see a little bit through the camera here today, but it's just so much to take in, including, which I feel like should be our final stop downstairs, and a very famous lady, right?
Yes. Ishbel Cochran was one of the founding members of the Valemount and Area Museum. She also grew up on Mount Robson as an outfitter. Her family used to take tourists by horseback up into the mountains.
Of course, a longtime resident of Valemount and a crucial figure here in terms of history. Now, Katie, take me away on Ishbel. Talk to me about the history here.
Well, Ishbel grew up at Mount Robson. Her family were outfitters there, and so they would take people out into the mountain by horseback.
Okay, pre-park days, right?
Oh, yes. After the park decided they didn't want horses anymore, that is when Ishbel took over the Mount Robson Ranch.
Okay, and does that exist today?
Yes, it is. It's sitting empty, but it is still there.
Oh, interesting. Okay, now Ishbel and then became involved in Valemount. How does this go?
When she retired, she moved to Valemount.
I feel like people from this era here, Katie, are cut from a different cloth. Am I right? It's like they're in the bush working just as hard as the men.
Correct, yeah. There was a group of ladies that did grow up in the bush, and they created this beautiful museum.
Wow, that's crazy. Ishbel Hargreaves now, I mean, is it a long shot to say a pretty big figure in BC's history in this area?
Yes, definitely, 100% the Robson Valley icon.
Yeah, and part of this like fur forestry and farming.
Correct, yes. She was more into the tourism.
Okay.
Like tourism, yeah.
Really? Okay, so then I guess after she retired, became a member here at the Valemount Historical Society.
Literally, once she retired, she dedicated her life to displaying items in this museum for generations to enjoy.
It's crazy, you know, when you look at the little pictures and stuff behind us here, Katie, you kind of get a taste that Ishbel was just like one of us. Liked to keep making cakes, scrapbooking, keeping the weather records. Like, it's just another one of the folks here in Valemount.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, if you want more about Valemount, more about Ishbel, come and take a visit here along the northern route to the Valemount Area Museum. There's only one thing we have to do now, Katie. You know what it is?
No.
Get a stamp.
Oh, on your passport.
It's stamp time. And that concludes our visit here at the Valemount and Area Museum. Thank you. Inside the Volunteer Center here for the Special Olympics BC Summer Games here happening in Prince George this summer. And this is where it's a beehive of activity right now because there's tons of volunteers going to be signing up the next few weeks. And we got Dorcas and Tegan here to tell us a little bit more about it. We'll start with you, Dorcas, because you got an interesting combo of responsibilities these games. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing here today. And then obviously you're a mother here for an athlete too.
Today in the office here, we're doing the registrations for people that would like to volunteer. And yes, Tegan's been involved. Well, we both first time volunteered in 2001 when the Summer Games were here. Tegan wasn't doing sports at that time, but then she got involved with the sports. So then have done some coaching and volunteering and
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, and Tegan, what is it like here in the volunteer space? Is it exciting?
Today yes, insane, but also today is the first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the grand kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, now for people wondering on what it's like to sign up as a volunteer here, Dorcas, tell me a little bit about what they're in for. It's a pretty easy process, right? You just call the number here.
You can call the number here or you can go online. The one thing that came up is if you're doing it online, it needs to be on a computer. I was trying to register on my iPad and it wasn't working, so just forewarn you, not an iPad or a phone.
Do the computer.
Do the computer or phone in and then we'll do it here.
Perfect. Okay, let's see how easy it is here, Tegan. You can sign me up as a volunteer today because this is a great little session on just how easy it is and how fast it is to sign up as a volunteer. As we get this set up here, what are some of the roles and what areas can people volunteer for the Summer Games here?
Oh, there's lots of different ways. There's helping in food services, helping at accommodations, at opening and closing ceremonies. They're going to need people to marshal the athletes. There are in food service, sometimes they're driving food out to places. There's medical people needed for the first aid tents and umpteen different ones.
You name it, they probably need it.
Sort of do as many or as few hours. Like if you can only give an hour or two here or there, that's great.
So here's the form right here. So if you call in, they'll be filling this out as you list off the details here. But I'm going to do it a little bit in tandem here with Dorcas today. Okay, last name, that is Fanshawe. Keep going about the, I think it's important here to highlight as I write down my basic info here, Dorcas, about the impact for the athletes. Everybody volunteers. The impact is so important, I think, for people to realize.
Well, I think it goes both ways, as Shirley was saying. It's great for the athletes. They are very active. They train for their whole season. The ones that are competing in summer games, like Tegan's basketball has ended, but the team that is competing in summer games is still practicing. And many of them are competing in other sports. A lot of the athletes are in a lot of different sports, and they have to decide in the fall they can only compete in one at the games because, of course, things might be going on at the same time.
Yep.
And also for the coaches, it's just a great experience, and they are very competitive, but they also help each other a lot too. There's real team camaraderie.
I like it. Okay, I'm making my way down the form here. I was going to ask. There's so many sports. I never realized there was this many.
And this is only the summer ones. Then there's probably just about as many for winter games too.
Tegan, which one should I sign up for? Basketball? You think? It's a no-brainer.
If you want to see her basketball.
There are, if you can sign up for different ones, if whatever one that catches
my eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it because, you know what? I will pick some with the weather is nice. I will do that. Outside of, I'll have some backup plans just in case here. Okay, so there you go. There's the form. There's, don't worry, my social insurance number's not on there, so we're okay.
Then why don't you?
Then we put it in online.
Then there.
Oh, and the backside too. Yes, important to look at the backside. It's all the details. You know, of course, hear this on the phone when you call as well. But I guess now it's your turn to put this online, get me registered, Tegan, and then we'll call it a day here. But we need lots of volunteers for the Special Olympics BC Summer Games here in Prince George, and make sure you sign up and be part of the what's going to be a very great weekend here. I'm excited to be part of it. It is day number 2 here. Time to meet horse number 2. This is the Pomeroy Pony in the Hobby Horse Hoedown here, galloping straight out of a luxury suite and into your hearts. It's smooth. It's speedy. Say hello to the Pomeroy Pony. And who is the jockey here?
Speedy Sill.
Speedy Seal. What are you going to do differently this week to win?
We rested a little more last week. Just stopped in the middle of the race, so we're going to prevent that from happening.
Let me guess, stayed at the Pomeroy to rest.
Yes, we sure did.
The Pomeroy Pony. Okay, well, your horse could be the winning horse. Folks just have to head online, get your rootin' tootin' votes in. CKPGtoday.ca is the place to vote before the race starts this Friday. See which horse could win. Could it be the Pomeroy Pony? You just never know.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV.
Welcome back to another edition of Money Matters here with David Gulko from Integris Credit Union. So lucky to talk to you once again. How are you doing today?
Terrific, Caden. Yeah. Thanks again for having me. I really enjoy doing this with you.
Well, thank you. I learn a little something from you every time, and I feel like it's going to save me a lot of grief later in my life.
It's really going to. It is. And I've noticed how much you've learned since I started doing these shows. I hope a lot of people have learned from doing these things.
That's the goal. Today we're going to talk a little bit about cabins because it's topical this time of year and people are opening them up or fighting over them. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
That is the ultimate statement. That is what happened. The family cabin is amazing. And everybody goes for years and years and years. But the family cabin becomes a family divider when mom and dad go.
Could it become a family divider even before they go, probably?
Yes, it really could. But the most important thing to make it not a family divider is to sit down with your kids and have that talk. It's like, you know, we did the talk when they were 10 years old. Now this is the next talk.
Next talk.
It's probably a more important talk. because it'll keep the family together.
Because I was going to say, it gets maybe pretty simple if you're an only child, maybe you only have one kid. I mean, well, it might not even be simple at that point. But if you got siblings, there's multiple people involved, things can get hairy pretty quick, even though, well, based on your experience, I'm sure, yeah, people don't think it will, and then all of a sudden it is.
Exactly, because mom and dad think they're going to leave the cabin as a family cabin, because
Right.
they've had so many wonderful memories, and will leave the cabin to the kids.
It's a happy place.
Yes, but Jimmy goes down to the Victoria, and
Yeah.
Janie is now in Calgary, and Timmy goes to the cabin every weekend with his family.
Right.
Now the roof goes, taxes are due.
Who's paying?
That's the biggie. And the other two on the island in Calgary, they want their money.
Of course, they want if it's going to get sold, they want the money. Is there a right or wrong way to go about this for people?
The only right way is to talk and plan.
Right.
That is the right way. How you divide it up, whether one gets it and the others don't because one wants it, it's not part of the plan. It doesn't matter. What matters is you talk about it, and then you have a plan to move it to the child that wants it.
Is there an advantage to doing it, like I was saying, before maybe, your mom or dad is pretty old, maybe they're not really going to the cabin anymore? Is there an advantage to taking care of it before?
There is definitely advantage to that. It's all part of the estate plan. I think on our last show we hit on the constants of life is death and taxes.
Yep.
And I think I had said there's going to be taxes. It's pay me a little now or a lot later.
Yeah.
Find out who wants it. Deal with the capital gain now.
Yeah.
Move it to the child that wants it. It'll be a lot less now than later.
Because I was going to say, yeah, when you're transferring properties like that, you are ultimately subject to
Capital gains tax. So you're paying it whether you transfer it now or wait until you die.
or your stuff is stuck in probate and then you're really hooped.
That's right. So you're going to get stung twice if you wait. You're going to get stung on probate, and you're going to get stung on a bigger capital gain. If you do it now, you avoid probate. Easy, makes the family much happier.
Yeah, definitely everyone can sing Kumbaya at Thanksgiving dinner.
And we want Kumbaya.
We want Kumbaya.
That's right.
The other thing I wanted to just talk about a little bit, because we're touched on the last episode about capital gains taxes and a little bit of changes. Is there anything people need to do differently, need to do right now, that you think that could help them in the long run on that?
Well, it would probably be better if you could keep your capital gain under $250,000.
Okay.
Okay?
That's probably
But
easier said than done.
There's a marginal difference now. Everything over 250 is taxed a little more, but the bottom line is it works out to be 8% on the dollar.
Okay.
So what you would have paid if you would have paid $10,000 in tax, now you'll pay $8,000 more. If you would have paid $100,000, you'll pay $108,000. So it's not much of a difference, but hey, a few bucks is a few bucks.
Well, hey, if you can save yourself some money too, I mean, it's always good. We were talking about, because lots of people have, lake properties with toys, RVs on it. The RVs and stuff, those can be dealt with a little differently than a property itself too, right?
Yes, the RVs, the toys, anything that's, really not registered with anybody, like with the DMV, if it's tractors or something, it's a non-issue. Whoever wants them can have them. If it's registered with the DMV, we gift them to the kids. You can write up all the paperwork and not date it.
Yep.
Just wait it out, then date it. Keep them out of the will. Never put physical property or name assets in a will. That's crucial to do.
There's a rule of thumb there. I like that.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for stopping by today. This is great. I feel like we really hammered out some key important points, and hopefully you learned a thing or two. Of course, as always, you can go talk to David at Integris if you have any more specific questions on your situation, because I'm sure you've heard everything under the sun at this point.
I have. I've heard it all. Just come see me. We can do an estate plan and stop the lawyers and the government from coming to your funeral.
That's right. Then you can sing Kumbaya at Thanksgiving dinner.
Exactly. The kids will be much happier.
Thanks so much, David.
Thanks for having me, Caden. Appreciate it.
Money Matters on CKPG Today is brought to you by Integris Credit Union. From here, all in for you.
look outside at today's CKPG Snapshot from Russ Claroux. Back at it here for some special Aurora Borealis at Purdon Lake. Beautiful shot reflecting off the lake here as well. It's just absolutely stunning, especially when you see the Aurora Borealises are reflecting off the lakes around our region. Great capture, Russ. If you have a shot, send it our way. Snapshot@ckpg.com is our email, folks. Hey there, got an idea or suggestion for the show? Reach out and connect through our social media or send us an email at letstalk@ckpgtoday.ca.
You know, a lot of people were looking forward to a mascot race because it was Mascot Day, and well, unfortunately, we didn't pull it together this year, but we do have something to celebrate today in local history. That includes the city's biggest gym at the time, the College of New Caledonia. How exciting!
Looking back in 1976, a big new gym here in Prince George, at the time is actually the city's biggest gym. Yeah, at the College of New Caledonia. It was a $1.4 million building with 8 badminton courts, 3 volleyball courts, 2 tennis and basketball courts, and 2 handball courts with a whole bunch of stuff on the outside as well. As it still stands today, many of those original bones are still there. And yeah, the College of New Caledonia has hosted a lot of events in that gym over the years. Although the ranking in top biggest gyms in Prince George may not be the biggest anymore, but it definitely has a lot of stories to tell from everything it's held over the years.
Now the city's, I guess it'd be maybe not even in the top 5. But anyways, it was new at the time, it was exciting at the time, and well, you can make your life new and exciting if you visit Northern Root Stops this summer. There you go. And don't forget to enter our Hobby Horse Hoedown competition, of course, week 2 going on right now. Submit your bets for a chance to go see Winona Judd and Johnny Reed up in BC's Peace Country this summer. All right, there you go, folks. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you for more good stuff on the show tomorrow. Bye for now.